He's the last guy that was a non-first rounder that made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? That's
That
incredible.
is unbelievably bad.
Yeah, it's horrendous. You're right.
I mean, who have they drafted of significance on defense on that other side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean the only Pro Bowler is Fletcher in
That's
the first round. He was a first round pick, and the only reason they got him, the story was, the defensive line coach was watching Thursday Night Football and Mississippi State was playing, and he was just blown away by the way Fletcher Cox just controlled the line of scrimmage. He called up Reed and said, "I need this guy in my defense," and they ended up getting him. And welcome back to the middle. Harry Mayes and Dan Sileo taking you up to the top of the hour. And
This thing's flying.
It is, totally. 90 minutes just went by. I mean,
Harry goes like this to me. He goes, "Hey, you want to get someone on?" I go, "I don't care."
Yeah. He couldn't do it anyway. He teaches at Villanova, and today, I guess, is the day that he's teaching. But I got to ask you about this latest situation. Of course, you had the Henry Ruggs disaster last week. I mean, what a situation that is. I'll never get it when you're an NFL player and you have all that security personnel at your disposal. Basically, I mean, you can speak to that more than I can, but from what I understand is if they're in a bind or they need something, they can pick up the phone and call, and a guy will be there in 10 minutes, and boom.
On the back of our NFL Players Association card, we have, even for retired players, we have 24/7 service to a ride that the NFLPA will pick up if you're too drunk.
Right.
It's on the back of my card, and I wish I had my wallet here with me, but it's really cool. Hey, just call, and the league will pick, and the Players Association actually picks it up. Here's what I'll say to you, Harry, on this. Listen, when I was younger and I got to the NFL, and all of a sudden I had millions of bucks in my pocket, and I was driving a Corvette around. I had a Lotus, a Maserati. I had all this stuff. I did. It was, you just think
Invincible.
It's invincible. It's narcissist. It's not a lot of people's opinions matter. The only opinion that matters is your own. The ones that can have more clarity when you're younger are the ones that understand you're a professional. It's about acting like a professional all the time. And sometimes, I mean, Harry, what gets me is this kid was schooled at Alabama too.
Yeah.
So he knows that there's always a microscope on you.
Right.
And you're in Vegas, dude. I mean, you know what I give Sean McVay a lot of credit for? You got a bunch of football players in Los Angeles. Have you heard Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey or have you heard like Matthew Stafford out running up and down Sunset Strip? Those guys know the pitfalls that are in Los Angeles, and they act accordingly.
Right.
You have to know this. One of the reasons I tell people that my failures in the NFL were a lot to do with my mental approach and also me not understanding what it was about to be a professional. I mean, look, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't act like a pro 24, it's not a 8-hour act like a pro. And then once that clock goes away,
go party.
The days of Lawrence Taylor hanging out and crack dens, those things are over with because people have these things now.
Yep.
They're going to take pictures of it. It's a different world where, you know, you're not going to get away with your free time and you're not going to get away with some of the stuff you're doing. So you're right. I mean, look, I feel for the kid. The kid is a good dude. He's a great kid who made a life-changing, altering decision that is going to cost people's lives, his own life, his fortune,
his career,
other people. Look at the impact that he's had. And unfortunately, like I said, good people make tragic mistakes, and that's what's happened here. It's just I've seen this story play out just way too many times.
Yeah, and now you got the Damon Arnett story, which hit yesterday, and he was their second first-round pick in the 2020 draft. So Henry Ruggs and Arnett are both gone. I mean, you talk about a sort of misjudging character or bad luck. I mean, it just.
Well, you got a TV GM.
Well, yeah, true. But Gruden was heavily involved in those player personnel choices too.
Well,
I think
he was right there with him.
Yeah.
But hey, watch this though, Harry. I mean, character's the last thing evaluated.
Mm.
You start. You don't do this. Watch.
Well, yeah, it's talent first. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You go. Wait. Can the kid play? You start there. Not is he a good character guy?
Yeah.
Okay. You start. Hey, can the kid play? How fast is he? Hey, is he smart? Does he love football? And then you go like this. Oh, by the way, is he a good dude?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's always the fifth thing on the list. Where to me, I've always said, look, you're not going to win championships with choir boys.
Right.
You're just not. But you got to be a good dude.
Yeah.
You've got to be a smart dude. You've got to be people that understand the room, where you are. And to me, that's an evaluation. Now, I will give people some credit. I'll give people some latitude here. And I'm going to show you why I say that. This COVID thing has not allowed a lot of these personnel people to have face-to-face meetings with these players where you had those one-on-one meetings back in the day and you had interviews. I think the only time, I was talking to Kevin Colbert a couple months ago. The guys that they drafted this year, Kevin said that was the first time that he had a face-to-face conversation with those people that the Steelers drafted when they went to Pittsburgh for minicamp. They did everything Zoom.
Right.
A little different than sitting here on a Zoom, hey man, what's your family like? It's another thing when you're looking at a guy in the face, there's nobody in the place and you're going like this. Hey, what about this story about you hitting a cop in the face? What is this about? Tell me what the story was. I want to know because I'm going to give you $5 million and I want to know when I go to my owner and he asked me, how come you gave this guy money here and you punch this guy in the face? A little different than when you're on a Zoom. You're prepared better. You got notes around you. You may have a guy behind you. You don't know. When you're sitting there and a guy looks at me like Jerry Angelo, he goes like this to me. This is one of the greatest lines. So Jerry Angelo goes like this. By the way, they drafted me 56th overall as a junior. So Jerry Angelo and Rich McKay are sitting in the room with me. Rich is the president now, I think, of the Falcons.
Yes.
And so he goes like this to me. He goes, okay, so what if plan A doesn't work? What's your plan B? I said, let me tell you boys something. Anybody who has a plan B doesn't have a plan A.
Good answer.
And those guys looked at me and went,
wow,
come on, Sileo, you ain't that smart. Who gave you that line? I said,
good
no,
answer.
man, that's my line, man. That's my line, man. You can't row out the sea with one paddle and have one foot on the shore and go, I'm all in. You got to be all in, bitch. Let's go.
That's a good answer.
They were like, wow, they really loved that answer. And how about when Jeff Ireland asked Des Bryant, hey, man, I hear your mother's a prostitute.
Oh, yeah. That was
terrible. They were going like this. They wanted to see his reaction. I'm like, I think you could have got it a little different way.
You could have gone about it a little bit different way.
Right. I mean,
wow.
So, but it really is about evaluating a kid's character. And how about them, though? They're still winning ball games in all light of everything.
They are.
That's a spot too, Beckham.
Bad loss to the Giants, though.
Oh, God.
Bad loss. I think Deshaun Jackson's going to the Raiders, isn't he?
Deshaun Jackson, yeah.
I think Deshaun's gonna end up.
Can you imagine Deshaun and Odell for Carr? That might be some good looking.
Oh wow! To go along with that Waller kid, the tight end.
Yeah, man. I tell you, that'd be nice looking, man. I tell you what, that would uptick the Raiders.
Yeah, it would. And who's that other kid?
They got a running back there.
Moreau, the tight end that tore up the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at their
Jonathan Gannon defense.
What's that?
The Jonathan Gannon defense.
Oh yeah.
Hey, by the way, man, I don't want a defensive coordinator's name Jonathan. I want it to be Haystacks. Who's your defensive coordinator in Philly? It's Haystacks Calhoun Sileo. Hey, this is what we're going. I don't want a Jonathan Gannon. I want it to be Haystacks Calhoun. I'm the D coordinator of the Eagles.
That's
we
true.
run. What kind of defense do you run, Sileo? We run a sick 'em and eat 'em defense.
But I'm looking at their number one picks this year was Alex Leatherwood, the lineman from Alabama, who I don't think is very good.
No, he had a bad back, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's already – isn't he a guard? Wasn't he a tackle that's already been moved to guard?
Anytime you hear a guy get drafted as a tackle and they move him to guard,
that's a problem.
That ain't working.
Right. Ruggs the third and Arnett were 2 first-round picks the year before. Neither are on the team anymore. And the year before that, I remember when Mayock picked Cleveland Farrell out of Clemson. I'm like, what? He took him 4th overall or whatever it was? Like, he's like a backup line. He's like a rotational guy.
Well, name me this. I'll throw this out at you here. And I think some of the guys brought up the guy's name. Let's take a look at your boy Howie Roseman's draft over the last couple of years here.
I'm trying to
Okay,
distract myself from that.
Let's do this with Mike Mayock. Okay, so do you know that it was 16 years ago that the Eagles drafted a guy that was in the non-first round lineup, and he's the last All-Pro that the Eagles drafted. It was 16 years ago. That wasn't a first rounder.
Trent Cole.
Trent Cole is the last guy.
Fifth round out of Cincinnati.
He's the last guy that was a non-first rounder that made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? That's
That
incredible.
is unbelievably bad.
Yeah, it's horrendous. You're right.
I mean, who have they drafted of significance on defense on that other side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean the only Pro Bowler is Fletcher in the first round. He was a first round pick, and the only reason they got him, the story was, the defensive line coach was watching Thursday Night Football and Mississippi State was playing, and he was just blown away by the way Fletcher Cox just controlled the line of scrimmage. He called up Reed and said, "I need this guy in my defense," and they ended up getting him.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's like the story with Jerome. So we're down, and this guy used to hang out at our practices all the time. And I go like this. I see him driving these fancy cars, and I go over and I go like this. I go, "Hey, man." I go, "Who are you here to watch?" He goes, "Oh, that guy right there is my favorite. I really love the guy." And I go like this. I go, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Man, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him in Philadelphia." And I go like this. "Okay, what are you, like a fortune teller or something?" He goes, "No, I fucking own the Eagles." I went like this. "What?" He goes, "I'm Norman Brayman." I'm like, "Oh, you're like the caddy guy. I need a caddy." I go, "Oh, no. He had targeted Jerome his junior year." And everyone knew he was going to Philly.
Right.
And Norman Brayman used to come to practice all the time. And him and Jerome, man, he'd take Jerome out. Oh, that was
really?
Dude, that was a done deal, man. That was he was going there, and he went to Buddy and goes, "This kid's a game changer." Well, Buddy came and saw him. The only thing that convinced Buddy to draft him is that after every sack, Jerome would do this. And Buddy loved that. Anything military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jerome used to always go like this. And he came down, met him a couple times. Buddy didn't really like me too much. He goes, "You think I want two of you guys?" He goes, "You think I want two of you assholes around here? Get out of here, Sileo. That ain't working for me."
Which draft do you want to go to with the Eagles? I mean,
okay, let's go 3 years ago. Anybody still on the team?
2018. Okay. Yeah, Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, and Josh Sweat, and Jordan Mailata. That's actually the best draft out of all of them.
Go to the one before that.
Okay, Derek Barnett, who had another costly penalty this past Sunday against the Chargers, jumping off sides on a 3rd and 3rd and 4 or something. And
guy
they ended up scoring.
Money.
Yeah, he totally. Sidney Jones was hurt and fell to the second round, no longer on the team. I think last I saw him, he was in Jacksonville. Rasul Douglas, who last made a play for the Green Bay, wasn't it Green Bay the other night?
Yeah.
A week or so ago. And then Mac Hollins, who's in Miami, is like a special team wide receiver.
So all these guys are off the team.
Yeah, basically. And Derek Barnett will be off the team after this season. So that's your 2017 draft.
Okay, so like his best draft was the 18 draft?
2018, it looks like.
2018.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about 2016? Give me that one.
Oh, let's see. Let's go back there. Okay, well, that's Carson Wentz.
He's off the team.
Sayamalu, who's hurt, but was a starter. Wendell Smallwood. I mean, come on. Halapulavati Vaitai, who's with Detroit as starting guard. Jalen Mills is on another team. I forget. Is he in New England still? I can't remember. And that's it. The other guys never made the team.
It doesn't look like a real big success rate here.
No. You go back to 2015. It's Nelson Aguilar was the first-round pick. He's with New England now, right? And was with Oakland or Las Vegas. Eric Rowe was with New England, and I think he's out of the league. Jordan Hicks is actually playing pretty well for Arizona, but he couldn't stay healthy here. He was hurt all the time.
Wasn't he taken out of that role in 15 though?
I
I thought I thought Roseman was taken out of that
Well,
role in
I thought it was 13 because
13.
or
Okay.
14 because that's when Chip came, was 2013.
Okay.
They drafted Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz in the first 2 rounds of that
Wow.
year. Yeah. Benny Logan, who was a pretty good tackle for a while here, 3rd round. Then Matt
So what do you make of him as a talent evaluator?
Howie?
Yeah.
0. Absolute 0. F.
Yeah. And so wait a minute. So you've got the biggest draft in the history of the Eagles coming up, and the dude that you think is a 0 as
Just making the
GM
picks.
is going to be in charge of that picks, and you're $20 million today under the salary cap, so that you're going to be able to do this. There's not a player that's going to be a potential free agent that the Eagles are not going to be in a conversation with that could help your football team. Every guy, think of this, Harry, every guy that's in the league right now, outside of these big frontline quarterbacks, the Eagles could pick the phone up and go like this. I'll give you 2 1s, and I'll give you Fletcher, and we'll eat they could eat some of the money because of how much they're under the cap.
How much the room they have, yeah.
And get this, get the pick, maybe get a 3rd rounder for him. Hey, next year, we'll eat 70% of the money.
Send us a 3rd rounder in exchange.
You send me a 3rd rounder, make it a 3. I'll take this. You can have Fletcher. It's almost like the Richard Seymour deal that when New England sent him to the Raiders, he still had some Pro Bowl years left there with them. I still think Fletcher in a good system with a decent defensive coordinator. Like, how about this? You send Fletcher Cox to New England. He's Vince Wilfork.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that guy.
Oh, me too, man. I love Big Vince, man. Oh, you could eat a bowl of soup off his head. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, man, that guy was a run stopper, dog.
Oh, yeah. 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 All right, let's look at 2019. Andre Dillard is a backup tackle, can only play the left side, 1st round pick. Miles Sanders has been good, although they don't utilize him enough. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was a 2nd round pick. He's a great blocker on special teams. And the other 2 guys never made the team.
Is that the kid Whiteside from Stanford?
Yes.
I met him at a Pac-12, man. I thought he was soft as tissue paper.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's just me just running into the guy, man. I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, smart guy, though, but I have not seen anything from him.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this kid Rieger?
I don't know. I mean, he's got all kinds of speed. Doesn't seem to catch the ball. I mean, they've thrown it to him early in a couple games earlier in the season just to kind of get him started, and he drops the football. And then I think Jalen Hurts is like, you know what? I'm not even looking your way anymore.
But he doesn't fight for the ball, Harry.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't come back. I think maybe he's afraid of falling on his wallet or something. I mean, this guy, just doesn't fight for the ball. He doesn't help his quarterback out. If the passes aren't perfect, he's not stretching out for it. I mean, you got a struggling quarterback or you've got a young quarterback, you got to do everything in your power to make that guy a better football player, because I'll tell you what, the wide receiver position in I've said this to everyone. I think the wide receiver position is the most overrated position in all of the NFL. And Tom Brady makes a habit of showing you, okay, so wait, Amendola, Edelman, Wes Welker, Deion Branch.
Yep.
Okay, Troy Brown. These are dudes they won Super Bowls with.
Right. Didn't Troy Brown play both ways one time? Didn't he play D-back? Yeah, right.
Yeah, he played DB. He was like a 2-way player. I mean, I'm going like, so if those guys are your wideouts, what's the last big time wide receiver that won a Super Bowl? I mean, maybe I guess you call Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans is probably a big time. It's a big time player. But man, I mean, I don't know. I don't really need that position, especially if I don't have the signal caller. That's why I looked at when the Eagles drafted Devontae, I said this, why?
What about Hill in Kansas City?
You think that's a good one.
I mean,
I think he's an elite player. I do. I think he's elite.
All speed. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's an elite guy. I don't think he's going to get you 100 catches.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Although they did target him like 15 times 2 weeks ago.
See, yeah, and you know what though too? Here and now, when you got Kelsey underneath, hey, yeah, he's elite. When you have Kelsey underneath, I don't know why Kansas City's not. I don't know why their offense is struggling the way it is, man. You got Kelsey underneath and you got Hill over the top. Boy, you put Beckham on that team, Harry.
Oh,
holy cow, man.
yeah. This could really change the course of the NFL depending on where he goes today, right?
And
You're
the
making a
storyline
case for it.
Now, let me ask you this though: Do you want to see? To me, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to rip my roster up for a guy that's making $7.5 million. Follow me here. Okay, unless, and all the teams that are under the cap with a lot are all horrible teams. Why would they do that right now?
Right.
When you're trying to line yourself up for next April. But if you're teams like Dallas or you're some of these teams that are so squeezed against the cap, aren't you praying? You're hoping he clears waivers.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can restructure a deal for him where it's incentive laden, it's base salary, league minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And if he makes this, just the same thing that Antonio Brown. And what I mean by the Antonio Brown scenario, think about what they did in Tampa Bay. You're going to get the best behaved Odell Beckham, this guy rolling into your place. He's going to be on his best behavior. This is the third team now that he'll be on. Look at the equity that Antonio Brown has built up over the last couple of years here working with Brady.
And living with him.
And by the way, he's on his way back to potentially being a consideration for the Hall of Fame. He wins another Super Bowl this year. You're talking a 2-time Super Bowl. He's the fastest to 900, which is crazy. He's the fastest to 900 catches, and he had that disastrous year last year.
Right.
But look at what Brady did. Brady built him back up again, where the league, he went out in the open market, Harry, and he thought he was going to get $7 million as a base salary. Nobody took him because you know why? They're not sold he's going to behave yet.
Right.
Well, maybe another year with Brady, you start doing this. Well, he's at 1,000 catches now. He's still Antonio Brown. Let's take a flyer on him. He's been well behaved. Bruce Arians has said it on my show numerous times. He's one of the greatest teammates I've ever seen. That's what I think Beckham has to do. He has to pick a place. If I were him, I'm praying to clear waivers. The $7 million will be investing in yourself. Let me go to Green Bay. Let me go to Seattle. Let me go to New England, maybe. Let me go to some place that could build my equity up, sign a 1-year contract, go out in the open market and go like this. Look, I helped the team win a Super Bowl or get to the playoffs. I was on my best behavior. And then maybe you sign your own ticket to a team that you really want to go to where you're going to get a contract that's going to be more suitable to what you were making.
And I don't think Odell really has been a big distraction or a problem when he's been with Cleveland. I mean,
absolutely. You know what? I think that's been something that hasn't been reported enough.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been a headache there.
No.
I think the quarterback, if anything's been the headache.
Yeah, right. Now I got to ask you, we only have a couple minutes left. What did you make of the taunting? Did you see the taunting penalty against the linebacker for the Bears last night, Marsh?
I did.
I mean,
this is another example of the NFL officiating having too much latitude when it comes to decisions on the game where, get this, it's a personal decision.
It's
and
a point of emphasis, they keep saying. Yeah.
And to me, when that guy stuck his ass out like that, I think he should be suspended. How do you know he's not fixing a game? How do you know he's not in with a bookie? It sure looked fishy that you would do that to that guy, throw yourself into it. He's running away and you throw the flag like that. I don't know about you, Harry, but to me, I mean, Tim Donaghy's of the world are going, hey, somebody needs to take a look at that thing over there, because if I were the NFL, I would immediately suspend him. I would take him off of any duty that he has coming up, because you can't have somebody doing something like that. And again, it was away from the play, had nothing to do with anything, but he was trying to dictate the outcome of a game when you do critical stuff like that.
Yeah, it was Tony Correnti, I believe, was the official.
That's his name. And get this, he supposedly has a great reputation, too, as a great ref. He's won Super Bowls.
Yeah, he has. But he claims that it wasn't about him running into him and hip checking him. It was about after he did his little sack move that he always does, he sort of lunged towards the sideline of the Steelers, and he considered that taunting. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's the case.
when I was telling my wife that, I took a couple dollars out of the bank account, it was really for gasoline. It wasn't really for that club with the pole in it. It was more for the gas I needed in my car. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, come on, dog, man. What are you,
You're not
what are
buying
you
it.
crazy, dog?
No,
Come on,
no,
man.
I don't either.
Trying to
I don't
cover
either.
your ass like that?
Right.
Hey, this guy's lied a lot before because he's trying to cover his tailbone there, man. Not a good look. Not a good look, dude.
Oh man. Well, you know what was a good look today is you sitting in here for Barrett and Natan, man. I've had a blast.
Dude,
Really
I
a
mean,
blast. Yeah.
I tell Junior, that's what I call Xander. He hates it too. I call
Oh,
Junior. I go like this, man. I see what, and I told everybody, you're like, what did I say? You were,
Bruno
like,
said that I was like Kevin Bacon or something.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
you can play any role, put you anywhere, and you work. It's like the universal screwdriver.
Or a Swiss Army knife or something.
Yeah, you're like the freaking Swiss Army.
Yeah.
Is that a corkscrew? Man, that's Harry.
Appreciate it, man. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. You still got a show today, or
I do, yeah, man. We're gonna have some fun a little bit later on. We go back and forth.
Who you got coming on? Anybody?
We go on 4 to 6 Eastern.
Okay, but who? Any guests already that are booked?
Romanowski.
Oh, Romo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that guy.
Yeah. Two guys like me, both of us going after you.
I loved running into him at Super Bowls in Atlanta and Miami. He's a great guest. Yeah.
Hey, Nutrition 52.
Nutrition. Yeah.
It's a game changer.
And his wife's big into it too, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, remember we were just talking about, hey, were those things sent to your house? No, sent to my wife.
Yeah. Everybody needs a fall person, a fall guy.
Absolutely.
Right?
My wife's my fall person. Then she kicks me in the head later, having peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner. Good night.
All right, Dan. Enjoyed it, man.
You bet, brother. Thank you so much.
All right. See ya.